Hello collective, welcome to the channel. It is September 26th, 2025, and let's tap in with Spirit, see what storyline they'd like to share with us. I hope everyone is doing well. Life is treating you good. Collective energy, please Spirit, collective energy. Storyline for the collective, please Spirit, storyline for the collective. All right. In the central energy, we've got the moon. Something's hidden. Something's a mystery. Could be some illusion. In the challenge position, we've got the Hermit. Something's hidden. You might be shining a light on it, doing some research, trying to find something out about a King of Swords in the reverse. In the recent past. We've got the Page of Swords. Intentions and expectations. Tower. In the near future, new beginning. Something ending, something beginning. The lens is being looked through. Page of Cups. New love, young love, open heart. In the environment, Ace of Pentacles. A new career, a new job, a new cycle. Hopes and fears. Moving forward, making progress. And the outcome. Knight of Swords in the reverse. So somebody's got a disregard for consequences. It looks like your team is victorious here regarding fraud and theft of your abundance. So you're victorious, you're protecting your abundance here. All right, so we got the moon in the upright. Patience. The Hermit. There could still be something hidden. Research. Divorce in the reverse. King of Swords in the reverse. Mind games, misuse of power. Lying. Confession. Negotiations, contracts. They'll be back. Could be somebody has to go back. We got a Tower here. Somebody's life is in chaos. Luck is not on their side. The Fool is here. New beginning. Fire sign. Page of Cups. Cycle. Fate, Karma. Ace of Pentacles. Your abundance is protected. Your new venture, your career, your job, whatever it is, your financial stuff. Well, this kind of came out sideways. I would pick it up like this. I would say you're moving forward, and we got Love Spell in the reverse. It's like whatever this is, like there could be like a failure of the bewitching. Like the love spells might all be getting like canceled. Anybody who had been bewitched might be snapping out of that illusion, that moon card. We've got Knight of Swords in the reverse. Somebody is behaving in a very impulsive manner. It's like the Enterprise. Love Spell in the reverse. Moving forward. Narcissist. A Knight of Swords in the reverse. Narcissist. Is not able to travel. They're not going anywhere. They have to go back. They want to compromise, work it out, use caution regarding intimacy. They may be wanting to get you pregnant. So give it time before you do date night, because we still have some third-party enemy narcissists out there trying to tag folks. There could be a water sign trying to do magic on you with that love spell. They're having challenges because they're being let go. No more love spells. They took a gamble with their health, with your health. They want you to open your heart to this gold digger, but you're telling them to move on. You don't want to have anything to do with them. It could be an air sign who is a liar. And your intuition is telling you the truth about that. And it could be that you're moving out or you're moving. Somebody might want to spy on your new beginning here. There's an earth sign that has to go back. Mercury retrograde. They may be doing something with the pets, trying to gain a commitment from a distance. Those poor animals, man. That's not a very good, apparently human beings were supposed to shepherd the animals, to take care of them. And we got a whole bunch of people out there unaliving them, doing spell work, trying to trap beautiful people so that they can be manipulated. It's insane. It's insanity. So we got the Moon card. There is an illusion. There's some kind of an illusion. Something is hidden. Be patient. Just a few more months. Something good is coming. It could be a home. It could be something is hidden regarding a home. We've got the Hermit here. So there's research. Research is going on. We've got divorce in the reverse. There's no breakup. We've got change. There could have been some research done on somebody who's having fear because there was no divorce. They didn't divorce anybody. It's like they were flipping people and then sacrificing them into this other space and then replacing them with a copycat. But the marriage supposedly still existed, so they were still drawing off of the spiritual inheritance while their true partner was still living in a state of suffering, and they were actually playing house with somebody who is pretending to be them. It's crazy. We've got a King of Swords in the reverse. This is an amazing liar, misusing their power. They're trying to make a confession here. Because justice is being served. Justice is being served. We've got new contracts. Somebody may be spying. Expect to hear from somebody soon. Be you. They'll be back. Somebody's spying on your contract. They want to be you. It could be that this is a copycat who's wanting to come forward and present as you, but this is in the recent past. It could have already occurred. They're in a tower because luck was not on their side. Whatever they were trying to do failed. They have to go back for copycatting you. They have to go back and repeat a cycle. Conscientious. Luck is not on their side. Conscientious. Conscientious. Luck is not on their side because you are obedient and dutiful. Loyal and reliable, trustworthy. Luck is not on their side because they use you as a doormat, as their Cinderella. They forced you to clean up their crap. There was no divorce. They martyred you, hid you away, replaced you with a copycat who was pretending to be you in your space, and forced you to transmute their karmic debt. Their free-for-all, free-loving, whoring ways. Their thieving ways. You're very conscientious, very responsible. They snatched you up, they tagged you, claimed you, and then replaced you, while still siphoning off of you because they didn't let you go. They martyred you and trapped you, but they didn't let you go. They didn't give you your freedom. You've got a new beginning, fire sign. Your hardship is over. Your hardship is over. We've got a Page of Cups here, new love. and cycles. Something ends. So there could be a cycle that's ending and a cycle that is beginning for this new love, for this creative opportunity, or for a Page of Cups. Take it as it resonates. We got some kind of happy surprise here. Maybe you're going to get new love. Location. Something ending, something beginning. Location. That always throws me for a loop because they're under the table. That to me speaks of like a hidden location, or they're trying to spy on your location, or they're at a location where that's hidden. Location. There's something significant about a place or a property. Could be a house, a room, a cottage, a garden, a farm, a country, or a city. A prominent location. Sacred land. Sacred land. So we're going to have new love in this new cycle in sacred land. The land will be given back its sacredness. Wow. Sacred land. You've got a new job, or your abundance is protected here. Guardian watching over you. So the Divine Mother stated they weren't going to be able to curse your business or your land. So it could be that you're starting a new business and it's protected from actors, from personalities. It's protected from that. You're moving forward, or there could be an enterprise. We've got love spell in the reverse. There could be love spells that are all coming undone. This could be a worldwide thing. Martyr. You know, and I was noticing the other day, or today actually, no, it was last night, how, you know, at the age of 13, like all summer long, I was wandering around in the forest singing songs to the trees, you know. And just like as soon as I started school, like as soon as I turned 14 and started my freshman year in high school, it's like every other word out of my mouth was the F word, and I was socking boys in the chin for mauling my my womanhood. And so it was weird to go from this sweet love song, pure joy for life, to this fighting, you know, and being angry because nobody was stopping these fools from being so disrespectful. Anyway, it looks like the love spells are all being broken because we've got some kind of a martyring going on. Like whoever was doing love spells on people are being martyred, or whoever was doing love spells and martyring people, these personalities, it could be that that's what they're going to be getting. The love spells are breaking and it's over, whatever it is. We've got a Knight of Swords in the reverse. They're unpredictable. It's a narcissist. They have no regard for consequences. This is a person who would not mind destroying the world if they cannot dominate it. Big fat liar. This is a wise guy. He's not wise though. He's running around like he's a mafia don, right? This narcissist. But he has no wisdom. All he has is cruelty and, you know, he's not wise. He's not clever. There's a backstory to this competition. It's a witch pretending to be something that they're not. They're being watched, or they're observing love, or maybe they are being observed by love. The labor of the shine. So your shine is working. It's exposing the addiction of this teacher, this person who's been training others to haunt those that are in their purpose. So this this not very clever wise guy, narcissist, they haunt and spiritually attack people who are in their purpose so that they can get rid of them and then play emperor or whatever the hell in their life. This is a family of people who aren't responsible. They want all of the good things. They want everything that's beautiful and all of that, but they're unwilling to be responsible and to hold that responsibility when it comes to their relations in that. We've got a sovereign person in a limelight position, and this tyrant or whatever the hell this wise guy narcissist is, they want to control all of the people that are in their purpose in these limelight positions, these sovereign people. They want to drive them into a limited perception of a snake and ghosts. So these are shadow dwellers, and whoever this dominator tyrant is, they want to drive the people that are in their purpose in these leadership roles. They're seen as giants themselves. We've got a person here who has a backstory of competition with witchery and pretending to be somebody that they're not. Yeah, love has seen what they have been doing, the work that they have been doing against the shining ones, teaching people addictive practices to haunt others. Yeah. So this is an entity of irresponsibility who is attacking limelight positions of sovereign beings with a very, very limited perception. They don't want people seeing you as a sovereign being. They want you under the control of this snake and their spiritual boogeymen who come and, poltergeist your home or whatever. They want this arcana to be absent. This vain person wants to command the evermore, the marriages, the unions, and they want to horseplay around with them. Attention has been brought to this because you were able to preserve yourself. And this one who is in a status of privilege is a chicken now because religion, or maybe this is a religious person who sees and everybody knows that you're a wholesome, optimistic, beautiful person. You don't take any shortcuts. You don't play games. You're here doing the hard work, as painful as it is, but you aren't going to pretend that you're something you're not. You're actually going to do the work and be what it is that you claim to be. So you've got a defense here from this ancestry, this tribe, who's trying to steal your compass, your pathway. There's a message here of conflict with the expectation of taking your position in the world. But you survived. And so you've got a promise here. Somebody's going to be getting a visitation and receive the drama that they gave to you. Because you are innocent. You're appearing, you're making an appearance, you're here, everybody can see you, and you're innocent. And these ones kept you invisible. This peaceful, loving person, they still want you to be invisible. They don't want you to share your life, your lifestyle, what it is you do, how it is you manage yourself, what are your experiences, how did you deal with that? This explorer is going to be disconnected. It's time, here and now, for entertainment to be of service. So these entertainers who have been siphoning the wealth out of you, who you have been servicing so kindly, even though they hurt you, it's time for them to be the servant. You are being remembered. You self-cared yourself into health and well-being. You didn't do anything here, but you did learn a lot about this communication, this habitual pattern that this narcissist, not so clever wise guy has been doing. You've seen you've pulled up all the objectivity about their horseplay, being you, trying to be you. This person still wants to. They think they can. They think that they can just bulldog their way through. We hear a lot of people, they got a lot of disruption, and we got some folks out there who think that everybody in the world is completely incapable and they must follow command. You can see it happening. I had a friend like that. My longest known friend was like that. He's one of these guys who insists that everybody else is wrong. It's the most egotistical, shallow perspective I've ever witnessed. It's also very childish. So the mother in me kind of feels as though I have to like forgive it because it is so extremely childish. But at the same time, it's a full-grown man with a habitual pattern and a refusal to see it for what it is. So it is what it is. You just got to let those people go, man. Objectivity about the horseplay. This is a finger-wagging parent figure, but they're absent, right? And they're just horseplaying around, blaming people for what it is they themselves do in this mess that they got going on. So you got creative with the way that you managed these interferences. You're being congratulated. You've received forgiveness. It could be that this is your spiritual throne. Perhaps it is that you're the one that gives, what is that? Absolution. Maybe Most High God has a new covenant with you. Those who stole all your things and whose lives revolve around things are going into the grave. We got body and important. It could be that there is a body that's very important, that the temple is very important. We got some kind of a prophecy here regarding the puppetry, the leadership, what it is that the community or the people, how are they going to be guided? Well, we know that these ones like them in a very limited view. They want them focused on war, focused on some kind of calamity or catastrophe, or some raving lunatic out there that needs medication. They want to destabilize, de-weaponize, and just get you walking in the line, you know, straight into the slaughterhouse after they've used you up, right? So I don't think the rest of the world is going to fall in line with this dictatorship, you know, that this liar here trying to play mind games and misuse their power. This narcissist who is not wise. They've got a disregard for consequences. I've heard these dominator, tyrant, childish man boys in the unseen talking about destroying the world if you do not give them what they want. The thing about this is, and I just want to remind everybody, that regardless of what the tyrants and the brutalizers of this realm say they're going to do and actually do, remember that there are limitless numbers of universes out there, and God and Goddess, Mother, Father, Most High Divine, and the whole of the family within all levels and layers of the realms throughout all of these limitless numbers of universes are aware of what's going on. And right now, the people and how they handle themselves in this challenge, in this mess, will determine where they wind up in this limitless number of universes. Some will back and fall in line and do the walk into the slaughterhouse, and they'll do whatever this not so wise guy narcissist who has a disregard for consequences tells them to do. He's a liar, he's mind effing people, and he's misusing his power. Very callous, very manipulative. And everybody has a choice. And as far as I know, everybody has actually already chosen. And we're just waiting for it to kind of play out here in the 3D. If this realm is reset by some kind of catastrophe, and there's a worldwide kind of like a event that kind of, you know, wipes out life and resets everything, those souls and spirits will all be allocated to their frequency match or their new role, dependent on their level of maturity and their ability to handle their own self in a difficult circumstance. Will they be a sovereign, creative being? Will they come up with a solution that can benefit themselves and their lives and perhaps others? You know, or will they just fall in line behind some narcissist who's out here in a King of Swords reverse energy, Knight of Swords reverse energy, very ruthless, very restless, very impulsive, lying, manipulative, and they're not wise. They're just a narcissist. They like to throw little tantrums, and they like to bully people and cause them suffering if they don't fall in line. Some people will absolutely fall in line, and they will wind up in the space that this person winds up in. They will have made their choice. But some of you who don't do that are going to wind up like a king or a queen of some freaking continent and some new realm within some planetary system and one of these limitless numbers of universes. I mean, you're going to be elevated in status dependent on what you do here, you know. Are you going to be led by fear? Or are you going to go to war? Are you actually going to try to hurt people based on what a lying dictator, manipulator, illusion caster, fear monger who isn't clever tries to lead you down? I mean, some people will go to war. They'll choose to purposefully go out and unalive folks because they think it's the thing to do. Some folks will fall in line and they'll do whatever they're told. They'll swallow whatever pill, you know, they'll do whatever they need to do. We got the moon card here. There could be some kind of anxiety. There's some kind of an illusion. You're giving it a few more months. Somebody's in fear about the home. The home, which is the foundation here. Somebody has to surrender their need to control your home. And your home, collective, is territory. It's not, I mean, it could be the flesh temple. It could be the house of wood. But what's been coming up here is actual, like, territory, land, businesses, and this kind of thing. Your home, your livelihood. They're afraid because they know that in just a few more months, they have to surrender the land, the territory. It's going to show up in the 3D. There may be a mass exodus of people. I think it's already begun because Jupiter was mentioned yesterday, and they've got a spacecraft going to Jupiter's moon right now to test the livability of the ocean and to see whether or not it can sustain life. So there's this thing going. So I am certain there's probably people on that spacecraft. People are being shuffled around. And, you know, I really do believe that if people allow themselves to become like vindictive, vengeful, angry, if they're going to get into that frequency, right? If you look on the chart, you know, anger is right here, what, in the root, or in the sacral. It's like fight or flight, you know. But if there's a lot of people that get into that frequency, then it's very easy for some of this technological stuff to like latch on to that particular frequency and pull it out, as far as I know. Now, it could be something different, but that's what I'm seeing. There's going to be like a energetic frequency like collection. It's really important to remain calm and, you know, try to manage yourself well. Manage yourself well, despite whatever it is that's coming at you. And it's, I know how challenging it is. All right. So somebody's in fear. They're having anxiety because in just a few more months, they have to surrender the home. This curator was like, well, if we lose our house here, if we lose our home here, meaning this curator, these people who have been buying and selling and trafficking human life force, energy, and services, they got to get out. They got to get out of the home. They got to leave the home. Research was done here, and you're not leaving. You're not getting divorced out. There's a change here. Now, they tried to frame you for all of their nastiness. They tried to layer you in that disgusting energy. But God isn't just a pushover who's going to fall for any old scam. He knows the truth. Honesty. That even when the world is lying about you, in your head, you're telling the truth. It's like, whoa, man. And the world is misunderstanding you. The world is creating stories about you. The world is certain that they know exactly who you are, even though you've never even met these people. And they don't actually know you. They don't actually know themselves because they lie about everything. They cast illusions about everything. So now we've got a King of Swords in the reverse who's been misusing their power and playing mind games with people, confessing. We've got Justice. There's a change here. You're not getting kicked out of the home, out of the territory, because you're honest. The good, the bad, the ugly. You confess it. You're sorry for it. It's like, I don't know what's going on. I mean, we all realize we're not perfect. And anybody who tries to pretend that they are perfect is lying to God, who can see and hear everything personally right there. And sometimes, you know, people, they get addicted to lying to themselves about themselves. Like I was mentioning my friend earlier, he thought that the whole world was wrong except for him. That's this narcissist. The whole world is wrong. I know. You got to do what I say. And then if you don't, they're going to get mad. And the thing about it is, these guys, man, these narcissists, they have this weird, it's like they're on drugs or something. Their chemistry of their brain or something is weird, because when they flip on you, when they flip out, it's like a dog that sees red, right? And no matter if they got a shock collar on, you're shocking them on a 10 level pain thing, they'll never even know that it's happening because they're just on this thing. I don't know. Anyway, we got health in the reverse. So there's a King of Swords in the reverse, lying, misusing his power, playing with people's minds, confessing about it. We've got Justice and health in the reverse. And it could very well be that this person's health is failing them. They haven't honored the vessel that enshrines their soul. They've been being filthy, playing games, and just effing around. Pretending that there's somebody else, mimicking people, hurting others, and then taking on that role and just pretending that they are that. They rejected their own life. Their own opportunity to know self. So in the recent past, we've got Page of Swords. They're spying on some contracts. They want to come back and they want to be used. So they're spying on contracts because they're in a tower. Because the luck is not on their side. They treated you like Cinderella. They were mean to you. They gave you the wrinkled dress. They kept you in the basement. Every time company come over, you weren't allowed. Anytime they made a mess, they'd make you clean it up. And then they'd purposely filthy it again and watch you do it all over again and not complain. We've got worry in the reverse. So you don't have anything to worry about here. So in the recent past, you're not worried. You have nothing to worry about. It's like whatever. There's somebody spying on a contract. They want to be you. Or it could be that there's some negotiations regarding contracts and whoever was pretending to be you has to go back. You have nothing to worry about. They're in a tower. Everything's coming apart. Luck is not on their side. They treated you like the redheaded stepchild and they despised you. They made you clean up all their messes and, you know, you did so. Regardless of the amount of crap that they buried you under and that you were keeping up with, by the way, making their life worth living, making it seem as though they had their crap together. You did all the work and you kept a good attitude about it. You focused on the lighter side of life, and that's why it didn't destroy you. That's why it didn't destroy you, because you reached inside of your own self and you found a reason to be happy despite these narcissistic, cruel wise guys martyring you, doing love spells on you, saying, you know, flipping and copycatting you, putting you in some suffering situation, telling the world that you wanted a divorce, but you didn't. Or maybe they hid it. You got a new beginning, a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. These ones are not going to cause you any more hardship. You're going to have a nice new beginning that does not include hardship. You were innocent, peaceful, and all that negative stuff is falling away from you. You're going to be no hardship. You're going to have a life of peace, a brand new, beautiful beginning. You're going to be able to trust in stuff. You're going to be able to have faith in what's around you. You know, under a tremendous amount of abuse and pressure and responsibility, because they were forcing you to deal with their crap. And you still kept yourself in positive spirits. So this is what's coming forth from you, even when you're buried under a tremendous amount of really bad ick stuff, you know? So imagine what's going to happen when there's no more hardship, when the negative energy is gone, and you're able to just relax, because all of a sudden there's no thousands of people trying to drop magical bombshells all over you. So we've got Page of Cups. There could be a new cycle here at a sacred location. A happy surprise. You're getting a new cycle in a sacred location. You could be grateful and thankful for this, or maybe you're getting it because you are grateful and thankful, even when you're buried in a whole bunch of crap and having to clean up hundreds and hundreds of messes that don't belong to you. You still kept your peace, your temperance energy, and you managed it. You managed it. So you've got a new career here, or your abundance here. Ace of Pentacles is protected from the personalities, from the copycats. They're under judgment. You're moving forward, or there is progress being made on the reversal of love spells that are meant to catch somebody so they can martyr them. Or maybe those people who were attached to somebody by a love spell and then martyred. So whoever this actor is or actress, these people, because there's lots of people. You got actors, actresses. They're under judgment. because they were getting people with this love spell and then martyring them. So it could be that the love spell is canceled. It's like they were transferring people in this weird martyring or sacrifice or whatever. It's like there's a, Google called it a psychological door or a psychic door. They like energetically or mentally kind of push you through a different door into a different dimension that looks the same, but it's not, right? So whatever this is, the love spells are over. The people that were martyred, that were bound by a love spell and then martyred, it's like those love spells are coming undone on those people that had been martyred. It's like they're experiencing a failure. So whatever those love spells are, they're coming on undone on those people that had been martyred and then bound into a different circumstance. They're failing. All of these love spells are failing. They're being reversed. And yeah, there's a failure. So it's like those people who were trying to do love spells on folks so that they could martyr them, it's failing. These personalities are under judgment for doing that. We've got a Knight of Swords in the reverse, having disregard for consequences. This is a narcissist who's really full of themselves, and the wise guy is in the reverse. They're not intelligent. They really lack any sort of cleverness at all. They're not clever. They're just cruel. Boastful, full of themselves. They think everybody in the entirety of creation is less than them. And they can't do anything right, and they must take command from them. Even though wise guy is in the reverse and they don't know jack. All they know is cruelty and force. But force and cruelty are not power. Power isn't boastful. Power isn't loud and obnoxious. Power doesn't loudly insist that everyone must do as told. Power is very subtle. Power, you will never even know you're in the presence of power, true power, unless there's a reason for it to be utilized. Doubt. So there's a narcissist here. They could be having some kind of doubt. We've got, yeah, because they're having a disregard for consequences. They're very unpredictable. They don't know which way to go. They're acting impulsively. They're just pulling straws out of the hat and throwing stuff at people. They're not wise. They're having doubts. They could be alone, or maybe you're never alone. They have a fear in them because you persevered through whatever challenges they put you through, and they're receiving a denial of your abundance. They're not getting it. They want your forgiveness. We got patience, everything in divine order. Okay, we've got these ones were bringing adversity to the empaths. The empath who can pick up on sound, vibration, frequency, emotion, energy, death energy, life energy, chaos energy, fear energy, love energy. The empath feels deeply. And sometimes the empath feels so incredibly deeply, and the thoughts that they pick up on, or the interferences of intentional technological soap operas, are so loud and so potent that the empath, if they are super sensitive, may at times mistake these things for their own stuff. But, you know, super sensitive empaths, they're super sensitive instruments of the divine source. They're here to to receive and send information. And because you're a living being, a biological living being, you receive information from source, and then it comes through you into the world. And so it's action, right? And all of that. And these ones, they don't have that. They don't have that. And I don't think God likes them very much, because they've been threatening to destroy the whole world unless God gives them what they want. They're in regret over this because you are successful. You know that there's no greater goal than to love. And this prideful person was guilty of trying to release you and claim your soul's growth, your happiness, your balance, your purpose. We've got friends here. And it could be that your friends are delivering death. They're bringing an end to this entity who had been causing so much hardship. They're going to have to surrender their need to control your home, which is your territory, which is your energetic space, which is whatever you consider your home, the planet. You're very courageous, and because you faced fear with courage, because you plowed through and you kept going forward despite the odds, you've earned your freedom. Using your intuition, being connected to source, in times of indecision, you were led properly into affecting some kind of a change. You've grown in consciousness and awareness. You're getting a relationship that serves the higher good. This is what you are all about. You're not out here trying to tweak people and cause them failure. You want people to succeed. So these ones were trying to blame you for their own narcissistic, non-clever, brutal ways of manipulation and misuse of power. They wanted you to be seen as somebody who was not responsible, caring, or loving. But you have gifts of the soul that benefit you and others, and you are here in service to people. Lifting consciousness into a new frequency. And this narcissist who's not clever, look, man, they're envious over your discipline. Your discipline, no matter how bad it got, you're very disciplined and you bucked up and you did it. You can accomplish whatever you set your mind to, and they're very envious of that. They thought for sure they had you on an impossible path and that you were never, ever, ever going to come out of it. Ever. Would you ever come out of it? And they did not know you. They did not know you. They have to accept the things that cannot change. They're in grief because you are guided by your inner voice. You trust it. You are trustworthy. You are love. And God knows that about you. All the history of this malarkey is uncovered because you were able to face your fear with courage and move into it and breathe into it despite the pain of it. You've endured a lot. You've survived and overcome things that, I mean, this has been going on for centuries, so there have been unknown numbers of people who just could not get us to this point, and you did, and I am grateful. So somebody's afraid because in just a few more months, they're going to need to surrender your home, the territory. It could be this realm. It could be, look, the territory of the sweetheart and her fortune. They have to surrender the home that belongs to the sweetheart. They have to surrender their need to control the fortune. They're very upset about it. This is a soldier, old woman, shapeshifter, Jezebel, freaking witch. Research has been done here. There's no divorce. You're not going anywhere. There's a change happening because you are honest. Even when the whole world lied to you, you were honest on the inside, good, bad, and ugly. And it could be that you were very challenged by the instability that these ones were putting on you. And God watched you manage it. God watched you come into discernment. God watched you come into successfully managing your emotions and your energy, your stability, your foundation. All by yourself. You didn't have anybody else helping you. All you had was the inner voice that was guiding you. You're not getting cut off. And this King of Swords in the reverse, it looks to me like they lied and said you wanted a divorce or that you divorced them. But that's not true. They martyred you and then hid you away and then replaced you while siphoning off of you. They never gave up the contract with you. They just martyred you and put you away and then drew off of your energy and dressed up their whatever, the one that they wanted in the first place with who you were. They didn't like you. And we've got a surprise here. So that they're surprised. People are surprised by your honesty. And it's like you may have done some things that you may feel are unforgivable. But you share it. You confess it. You may be truly sorry about it. Or maybe you're truly confused as to why it even happened. And you're just asking for answers, for help, to understand. To understand what your part in it was so that you can face it. In the open. Let God see it. There's a reunion here. So yeah, this King of Swords reversed was playing mind games with people, lying about stuff, confessing right now. They never divorced you. They replaced you. And then they didn't let you have anybody. They didn't let you they kept on to you. And this has been going on for centuries. So you may have gone through a lot, many life cycles where you were kept in this insanity, chaos, instability, where nobody wanted to have a family with you or commit to you. I mean, this could have been going on for a long time. This person didn't divorce you. They did not give up a contract that may not have been gained truthfully anyway. The Most High God stated that this is a severe case of betrayal. They not only betrayed you and the contract that they had with you, but they betrayed God because they were supposed to protect you, to take care of you, to help you improve and become more. You're getting a reunion here. Justice is being served. Whoever this King of Swords reverse is, their health is failing them, and you're going to be reunited. You're the sweetheart. You're getting your fortune, and you're going to get this home. These ones got to get out. There's new contracts here, and whoever it was that was copycatting you, they got to go back. They're not going to be able to cause you any more worry. We've got prison. You don't have to worry about being in prison because this actually came out in the reverse. You're not going to prison. These people were copycatting you. You are seen to be a faithful servant or in service. You are here seen faithfully serving the Lord. And these ones were copycats, and they were lying and doing all kinds of disgusting things, wearing a mask and your siphoned energy, tapping into your mental body as a pleasure seeker. This could have been one of your friends. Whatever that is, they're in a misfortune. They're in a misfortune. They're in a tower, and luck is not on their side. Because even though they buried you so deep under so many layers of filth, that they didn't think you were ever going to clean it up and come out. Somebody needs consolation. They're praying right now because you're still happy. You learned how to whistle while you work. Regardless of the workload, regardless of the filth of it, you whistled while you work. So you're getting a new beginning, fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. These ones will not be able to bring you any more hardship. You're getting peace. You're going to get what you hoped for. You never gave up hope. You never gave up hope. You remained hopeful. And even when it seemed impossible, this is, like I said, this has been going on for a long time. And it could be that your spirit and your soul is just exhausted, but you're still going. You're still hopeful. You're still happy. You're still maintaining your inner peace. You're still like phenomenal holding this workload together. And everybody said, oh, that person can do it. Go put it on them. They'll do it. It's kind of like those movies or those commercials or whatever, cartoons, where you're in the office and it's about 15 minutes to quitting time. And your manager comes in and they put down a big old stack of invoices or whatever it is, and they put it on your table and they say, hey, you know what? These ones have to be input and then mailed out before you leave tonight. And you know that it's going to take another 2 hours or whatever, right? So it's like kind of like that. They kept putting stuff on your plate, burying you under the shame and the blame of their foul deeds. But you never gave up hope. You only increased in your ability. Like you were probably finding quicker ways to get things done. Like the workload became so heavy and you had to get it done quicker and quicker and quicker. And so you kept coming up with not shortcuts, but methods that allowed time reduction when it came to completing tasks. So you're getting new love. You're getting a new cycle with new love in a sacred place because you are grateful and thankful. You're getting the house. You're getting the house. You got the home here and a fortune, sweetheart. These ones need to surrender their need to control that. You got an Ace of Pentacles, new career, and it is protected from these personalities, from these copycats, from these actors who are under judgment. And I heard one of these misogynist masculines talking the other day, a couple days ago, that she isn't supplying copycats. So whoever this sweetheart is that's being reunited, she isn't going to play the flip and copycat game. She's not doing it. And if it wasn't this sweetheart, whoever it is that's been supplying this entity with copycats, it's done. They're not going to do it anymore. Either from choice or because that choice is being stripped from them. We've got waiting. So your abundance is protected. These copycats, these actors and actresses are under judgment, and we've got waiting. So they may be waiting for a verdict. We're moving forward. We're moving forward. This is an enterprise. This is a worldwide thing. We've got love spells backfiring. Love spells coming undone on regarding those people who had been martyred. It could be that there is an enterprise where love spells are no longer permitted, where love spells will be forbidden because they've been martyring people doing that. Maybe they have a failure. We've got letter. Somebody's failed. They've gotten a letter, and we've got death and widower. Death, widower, making a journey. So, yeah, somebody's getting a letter. Somebody has lost a spouse. There's death and a journey. So wherever it is, whatever, I don't know where they're going at in the limitless numbers of universes, but somebody went to the moon of Jupiter. Could be many people, I don't know. But sometimes it could just be that the physical temple, which houses the spirit and soul, has to release the spirit. I don't know. I don't know how transport works. If they're not transporting the actual 3D body, it has to go through some kind of a spiritual journey. Enemy. So we've got King of Swords in the reverse. We've got a burned out, unpredictable, disregard for consequences narcissist, wise guy who's not so wise. They're having doubt. They are an enemy. Everybody sees them as an enemy. They're very arrogant and prideful regarding this wedding, this reunion here. This is a servant to some whatever, I don't know. And it's a pleasure seeker who could be bringing misfortune to their friends. There's cheerfulness here and wife. It could be that his wife is happy about it. Maybe they're upset that this sweetheart in the fortune is a happy wife reunited with her person, because this entity over here, this King of Swords in the reverse, lied and was abusive and mentally mind-effed somebody. They could have lied about this sweetheart even having a marriage, you know, and it could be, you know what, I think this King of Swords said to everybody that this sweetheart wanted to divorce whoever this Lord is. Now, I don't know. This could be an important person, some Lord. I don't know. Somewhere in the world, they got people with the title of Lord. I don't know. You know, and it could be that whoever this sweetheart was, like maybe they had to go away. Maybe they had to go do something. And maybe this King of Swords, narcissist, wise guy, was supposed to protect her and her territory while he was away doing something. And it looks to me like this King of Swords lied and said that she wanted a divorce while he was away, and then proceeded to be a copycat little whore, like all of their copycat little whores were, because they were dressing up in her martyred energy, wearing a mask and doing horrific things. So they were framing her as being what they are, and they told the Lord, whoever this Lord is, that she wanted a divorce, and they were pretending to be her here. And now the Lord's sending them back. He's like, what the? These people are in trouble, man. They're thinking, and they can't get out of their thoughts about this soldier, old woman, and this scholar, all this information, this knowledge that she shared. There's a young woman who has her wings, and a priest is here who steals from them. So young women who have their wings, they're angels. There's a priest here who steals from them. And they do that with this, whatever this is. So they're out there scoping stars, and they're loving on them, love bombing them, giving them a position of authority or some kind of position of importance. And they're all really going to town for this guy. Really going to town, being so bitchy, you know. And it's like, are you kidding me? And what's sad about it is, because when it's all said and done, you know, they chose this person, and when it's all said and done, they will be stuck in a position where they're nothing more than an energetic source for a narcissist who did not like them in the first place. Somebody's sick about a merchant. They're sick about selling something. They're sick. They got to sell something. They owe the merchant. They got to start selling stuff. They're running out of money. We got the gift of love. The gift of a lover. Could be that your lover has gifts. We got happiness. There's a lot of conversation going on about the innocence of you. Or it could be that you're going to have a child. And this foe wanted your money. And they're in despair over your love, because you're constant. And that's what God was looking for. That's what the family divine was looking for. Consistency. Because these ones, as I mentioned, they run soap operas through the mind. So say, you know, consistently, you're pretty happy. You know, you're very level. You don't go off. You don't have any rage problems or anger issues or addiction troubles, or you're not out partying, causing problems for people's lives. For the most part, you're very calm, very loving, very peaceful in your nature. But sometimes you'll have rhetoric driven through the mind, like some freaking soap opera where everybody's at war, and then there's hate, and they despise each other, and they want to eliminate each other. And you can feel the energy of it. It's like, because you're a super empath, so you can feel it, and you would swear that it belongs to you, but it doesn't. It's just it's a soap opera. And if you can just watch it for a little while, Maybe go do some breathing, some mantras, some meditation, a purification ritual, a bath, whatever it is, you know, and just watch it. Eventually, it will stop. It will release. These ones are sick. They're sick. They're malady. They're false. So they're sick. These false people are sick. They're sighing over a message, and they're in melancholy. Like, this did not work out. They failed. They failed here. And they're sick about it. Because you're a sweetheart. And you didn't want a freaking divorce. They martyred you. You know, like for me, like thousands of years ago, I remember being in some freaking castle with a whole bunch of robed figures up, drinking my blood. And so that's what they did, you know, is they do that. And then that's what they do. Now, there's videos out there. The blood of purity, the blood of sweethearts, it washes away, or it masks them, or it does some kind of weird cloaking thing, or they take on the powers. They're imbued by the power of the sweetheart, and then they dress up in that, and then they act from that energy. They got it inside of them, so they act as though they're that person, and they're just not. It's seen. They have to surrender the need to control this. This sweetheart never did want a divorce. They martyred this person and then prostituted her energy in order to cast an illusion, in order to make whoever this Lord is believe that she actually wanted a divorce and went out and decided to be a prostitute. And that wasn't the case at all. This was a sweetheart who was brutalized by lying, narcissistic, wise guys who aren't clever in the slightest. They're just brutal enemies of purity. Freaking vampires. Oh, I got that movie because the curator was talking about Van Helsing the other day. And I thought, ooh, Van Helsing must have been a real person, I guess. So I bought the movie. I went to the secondhand movie store and I found one. I'm like, ooh, I get to watch Van Helsing now. I don't watch TV very often. So, anyway, it was all a conspiracy theory. These ones made up a freaking story about this sweetheart, and they wanted her divine spouse to believe that she wanted a divorce or did divorce when they went on whatever business trip or whatever they had to go on. These ones lied and said that she filed for divorce when he was gone, and that was a freaking lie. You know, she was waiting. I feel that she was looking in every pair of eyes that ever came across her path, looking for her spouse, looking for him, and never found him. She may have thought she found him a couple of times, only to find out that it was not. But now we've got a King of Swords reverse confessing the truth. With this Hermit card, there was no divorce. She didn't want that. They just wanted the territory that belonged to them. Shadow demon. She was not part of that. And they cannot eat her. Surprise. The truth is out. This person was a troll, man. Trauma bonded her. And now they got to go F off because, man, how could you do that to an innocent sweetheart, a wife of somebody who's important, just because you want to take over the territory? Greedy, lying, little narcissistic, manipulative, wise guy who has no cleverness in them at all. They're just a brutal, freaking forceful jackass. Self-care. So this person, so they're making this King of Swords in the reverse, mind F this sweetheart, filled her mind with trash, polluted her energy with their orgy magic and transference of sin, forbidden crap, trying to set her up as though his lie was the truth, and it wasn't. Justice is being served. They're going to lose their health. There is a reunion here because she cares for herself. No matter how difficult they treated her as a Cinderella, layering all of their sin and their nasty crap on her and forcing her to try to purify herself throughout all of that. Oh my gosh, she's an expert at self-care. She's an expert at self-care. She's truly a lover of happiness. She knows that when she's happy, that energy feels so much better than the energy these ones kept piling on her. So what do? You know, when you're really upset, or when you start figuring out, you know, how bad energy, angry energy, sad energy, betrayal energy, it all feels so terrible. And then you make the decision, he's like, I don't like this energy. So you make the decision to focus on the happy stuff. And no matter if your life is full of shit, which it was because they put it on there, they wanted you buried in it. But you said, hey, you know, that fly is really sweet. Look at that little fly. I love that little fly. Whatever. You found happiness watching the fly eat shit. Whatever. I don't know. But you did it. And now they're sad. This cult leader is jealous. They were being you. They were pretending to be you. They were siphoning your energy, dressing up in your energy. They were stealing your intellectual property. They were messing with your thoughts and your patterns. The Lord sees that you were faithful and true. And it could be that during this whole time, you were offering services, like they may have kept you in the astral blind, drawing off of you. And you, sweetheart, were just over there divvying out all your goods, forgiving people for hurting you. God had to come down and find the freaking truth. What's going on here with this sweetheart? She's loving. What's going on? She does not look like what they said she was. So there had to be a whole lot of freaking research going on. And the research said she was waiting for her sweetheart to come home. And they martyred her. They unalived this Lord's wife. And then said she wanted a divorce because she's a whore. And then martyred her. I can't stand these guys. They would destroy an entire world. They would make many species go extinct simply because this man-child can't control you. But God's got a better place for you anyway. So as long as you don't fear death, you're going to make it fine. There's limitless numbers of universes out there, and you may very well be the queen of your own freaking planet. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. They're sad. They're sad. They were doing the very least in order to gain the very most, and that meant they had to be this sweetheart. They ate the sweetheart. They snacked on her, man. Her energy, her essence. They were drinking it like a freaking straw. Dissolve, suck it up a straw. Oh yeah, I'm young again. And that's exactly what they were doing, and they were having great fun. And now they're praying. Now they're praying. Well, who are they praying to? Because God walks with this sweetheart. God resurrected this sweetheart and led her back into an ascension because they lied. Bad men. They are triggered. Triggered. They're triggered. They're triggered. Because they can't bring you any more hardship. You're getting a peaceful future. You never gave up hope. Even when they were creating all these stupid tinfoil hat conspiracy theories regarding you. Look, they're triggered by you. They're so triggered because you are at peace and you're getting peace. You're getting new love. In this new cycle, you're getting a sacred place, a secret sacred place, because you're grateful and you're thankful. You're getting a house. And we've got a simp here. doing the most for somebody who cares the least. You're dealing with this simp. You got a new career here, and it's protected from actors and actresses, copycats. They're under judgment. They're waiting for something. There's something waiting for something. Waiting. The unicorn is waiting for her status of privilege. It belongs to her. The divine stated that you are vindicated. Like this lie, this horrendous betrayal. They were supposed to protect you, and instead they unalived you, sent you to hell so that this shadow demon could freaking snack on you. But that's not working out. It failed. They failed to martyr you again with this stupid love spell. This is so terrible. So they're under judgment. You're an empath. You're waiting for your status of privilege. It belongs to you. It's always belonged to you. But you've got this lying masculines, these magicians, these sorcerers, whatever the hell they are. They're children in a man suit. And I don't even think they're men, because these entities that are portraying themselves as certain people, they're not. The entity in the flesh suit is not who they're trying to portray themselves as. And when you're in the other spaces, you can see them shape-shifting from one version of themselves to another. Love bombing, gaslighting. So that's what they were doing. Moving forward, we've got love spells from love bombing, gaslighters, manipulators. They're backfiring. And their attempt to martyr people, or you, sweetheart, is failed. It failed. They're not going to be able to martyr you. This is a bunch of crap. They're getting a letter. They've got information here. Somebody's wife died. And it could be whoever this is. It's this narcissist, wise guy in the reverse. They got a letter, or they're getting the information that they made their journey. So now they got a disregard for consequences. This is a narcissist, and they are not wise. They don't have any cleverness in them at all. They are in doubt, and everybody knows they're an enemy. It could be, this doubt card says, I release the need to know all the answers. They don't know all the answers. Everybody knows that they're an enemy. You may not know all the answers, but maybe some people doubt that he is the enemy. He's trying to create doubt that he is the enemy. Or, oh yeah, look, oh God, there's a starseed here telling him to get effed. Go F yourself, narcissist. You're not wise. You're not clever. You're an enemy. You instill doubt in every damn thing. You over-sexualize every damn thing. You have a disregard for consequences. You don't like anything. This starseed is telling you to get effed. Go F. Because you're a narcissist. You're a freaking fashion witch. You think yourself so freaking clever because you got the expensive threads and whatever, and you can brutalize people until they do what you tell them to do because you're so damn mean. Jackwagon. Narcissistic fashion witch, ignoring the red flags. They are being warned about this billionaire. It's announced. It's a public announcement. This is a feral bitch who needs to stay in their lane. Stay in your lane. The influencer is getting the land back. They're a legend. They're a legend who what? Survived a trauma bond with a stupid troll. You're an oracle, prophetess, prophet, and they're a vampire. They've been feeding on you for a long time, and the Lord can see that that's what they did with his sweetheart. And he's mad, and God's mad, everybody's freaking mad, and this narcissist, wise guy, I don't know, I think he's going to get removed from the light that he has been feeding on. They're not able to feed this honest person to the shadow demon because this sweetheart didn't ever want the divorce. She was waiting for a sweetheart all this time, heartbroken, 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 because these jackwagons kept prostituting her energy, coming in, pretending to be love. They're just not very nice. Not very nice. I don't think God's happy with the way these masculines were portraying themselves as men. You know, created in the image of God. It's just, this cannot be. It cannot be. Look, they're overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed. They got to surrender their need to control the territory of this sweetheart. They stole it and brutalized her. They tortured her. Stole her love. Her union. Her faithful, loving, beautiful, pure union. And they said so many lies while violating her in so many ways, seen and unseen. There's an understanding here. So the research has been done. There was never a divorce. She never wanted a divorce. A change is happening here. That there's an understanding of the truth. Somebody's surprised. There's a whole lot of stuff coming up out of the water here. And they're not able to feed her to a shadow demon. Now, I don't know if this shadow demon is that Leviathan or whatever. I don't know. Water creature? There's something about the water. Last night or this morning sometime I heard somebody say, what did they say? Wuta. Wuta. And apparently that's how British people say it. So anyway, I don't know if this shadow demon has anything to do with Britain. But it's in the reverse. They're not going to be able to feast on this sweetheart because that was a complete freaking lie. King of Swords reversed is a big fat liar and a mental manipulator of everybody. He's confessing something. Justice is happening. His health is going south. This sweetheart was able to take care of herself even while being layered under blame and shame from hundreds, if not more, people throughout the centuries. It really tallied up, right? And they're laughing, they're reminiscing about the inside jokes. And it could be that this reunion is happening. Like maybe the Lord, whoever this Lord is, and whoever this sweetheart is, maybe centuries ago, they really had a lot of good times, you know, like maybe they really love each other and they're remembering what it was like to be together. And they're going to get it back because these ones lied and they vilified her, defiled her in so many ways, trying to make this Lord believe that she was what they were trying to say she was. They're in trouble. They're in big trouble, man. They're looking for an escape. This jealous cult leader is looking for an escape. They were copycatting the energy of this sweetheart, and they were laying this energy on all of her other copycats, mask-wearing little hoe bags, who were out there, you know, spreading their legs and doing whatever they did. And then, you know, sacrificial things of pets. And she loves pets, the animals. So they're in a tower. Luck is not on their side because she's so conscientious. Because no matter how bad life got, she still found something to be happy about. They were feeding on her, doing the very least to gain the very most. And now they're praying to God. And God's not listening. You know, God's listening to the Lord here about his sweetheart. And these people are getting tore up is what they're getting. You got this starseed, okay? You've got limitless numbers of universes out there, okay? And this person could have very well prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and was patient and patient and patient while being abused and left alone with nobody to help or support or listen or believe what was happening. Secrets. They lied. They didn't tell the truth about everything or anything. So this fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you're getting a new beginning with the Fool card here. There's not going to be any hardship for you. All this negativity is being released. You're going to get peace. You never gave up hope, even while all these triggered people told lies about you. Tinfoil hat conspiracy theories. It was all a freaking lie. Everybody knows it was a freaking lie. They have to surrender their need to control you. They're very upset. And look at this. She wants to be you. Look at this. Is the entity that was dressing up in the sweetheart's energy, being a whore, trying to convince this Lord that that's what she was. Why? Because she is a fortune. She's worth a fortune. She's like some princess or something. They're real mad. That's no princess. But see, they thought that they were going to be able to trap you here and then continue to siphon your powerful, potent goddess energy forever. And that this person was going to pretend and have a good time pretending to be you while you suffered. They're so upset. This is an unexpected outcome. Look at that wide-brimmed hat and that perfect little dress. And oh, this is an unexpected outcome. They really thought they were going to have a life of luxury and privileged status, because they thought they were going to trap this sweetheart who had the status. They never wanted a divorce. It's ridiculous the way that they painted her. The way that they hurt her husband with that concept is it's one of the most terrible things, man. It's terrible. Now this narcissist, wise guy, who's not clever at all, thinks that this Lord and this sweetheart are their enemy. And they will threaten to destroy everything in order to keep them from reclaiming what rightfully belongs to them. The territory, the home that this person stole when they decided to unalive this sweetheart who is waiting for her husband. It's stupid. This guy does not. I don't give a crap. Yeah, you got a simp here doing the most for somebody who cares the least. They're chasing after you because you're leaving. Or maybe they don't want to chase after you anymore, because it kind of says that too on the card. Like there could be that there's a simp that doesn't want to chase after you anymore. You're getting a house. You're moving. You're getting the house. This home is yours. This territory is yours. These ones got to get out. And it says, just a few more months. This 3D space is going to undergo some serious catastrophic events, most likely, and technology and a narcissist who is not clever will be behind it, because they failed to martyr the sweetheart that gave them the territory and the wealth. They don't want to give back the wealth. They're fighting with God. They're like, hey, I'm going to ruin it all, man, rather than let you have it. But God already has a whole new universe set up for this sweetheart and the Lord. So it doesn't really matter if this particular flesh suit perishes or not. The soul and the spirit are free, and they will go to the next place, and there won't be any hardship. There's going to be peace. That's all there is to it. So just don't fear death. Don't fear what these people say to you, man. Don't let them have that energy, because they will latch onto that frequency and they'll snatch it out. So you're the Ace of Pentacles. You're getting a whole new career or a whole big bunch of abundance, and it's protected here from these actors and actresses, these copycats, these personalities. They're not really who they say they are. They're pretending. They're living dead men and dead women's lives. The entity in those flesh suits are not the real person. So they're under judgment, and they're waiting, because this unicorn, this sweetheart, is getting the status of privilege, the life of luxury, without hardship, peaceful. This empath deserves a peaceful environment where they're not having to process anger and rage and hate and selfishness and envy and soap operas of insanity. She shouldn't have to be buried under that stuff. We've got mend connection. So yeah, the connection has been mended for this empath, the unicorn, this sweetheart with the Lord. It's right there. And we're moving forward. This is a global thing. So these love spells that love bombing, gaslighting, narcissistic, non-clever people were playing, trying to martyr sweethearts, are failing. The love spells are backfiring. They're coming undone. And they are failing to martyr these people. It's not going to work. But their spouse is going to perish. They're getting the letter of somebody making a journey. It may have already happened. Or it will. Soul tie severed. Soul tie severed. They're going to lose their spouse. Their spouse is going to have their own path that they're going to have to travel because of they were probably dressed up in the energy of this sweetheart being very, very vicious and brutal as them. And it was all a lie. Absolutely so terrible. Agent smithing, sweet spiritual people in the not in the 3D, but in the spirit. Like I was in the spirit and like God called me to a space and it was where my spirit was sleeping and I was standing there and I watched her sit up in the bed and there was a cellophane and there was like a little yellow dress in there and she was sewing it with white thread. And I'm like, some jackwagon Agent Smith, my spirit self, as she was sleeping, as I was sleeping, I was in my bed dreaming. So in the spiritual realm, my spirit was sleeping in a bed and God woke me up in the spirit realm and said, come here, watch this. And I watched this person do that. And I was like, wow. And that's when, and then that was the first time I saw somebody trying to sew up my spirit in cellophane. And then there was two men who did the same thing, trying to sew me into cellophane. I don't know, there's something like that. An invisible barrier. They like to use white thread. Anyway, they got a disregard for consequences now. This narcissist, they're not clever. They're having doubt. Everybody sees them as an enemy, and these starseeds are telling them to go F themselves. Nobody wants to deal with this person. This is an arrogant, hypocritical, lying, manipulative, very evil, brutal person who creates rumors and conspiracy theories about starseeds so that they can deceitfully convict them of a crime and then suck the life force out of them while breaking the heart of their family, their spouse, God. God's going to smack this person down hard. Their values are all about money. It's all about money. So these starseeds are telling them to go F themselves. These starseeds are getting a new destiny. Why? Because they love themselves. They love themselves to health. No matter how difficult life is, you're the ones who have something beautiful to share with the world. And that's why you need to stay in it, right? Because you never gave hope for a faithful, loyal union, even while these third-party enemies, these egotistical third-party enemies, were passion projecting everybody into a soul contract. Inseparable. So they think that these soul contracts that they love spelled people into are unbreakable, and God's disagreeing with that. He's like, it was false contract. And you're losing that contract. You're a reflection. You're a pretend person. You're a shadow dweller. And you made a lot of mistakes. Research has been done. And you got to hold back. Stay out of the space, the energy of these starseeds, of this sweetheart. They're confused. Everybody's talking about it, about their habitual patterns that they will never, ever change. And they're going to feel the difference or the absence of responsible families and unions because they have been found unworthy of them. It's too late for them to take any action regarding that, and they're left here feeling the damage and the pain that they have caused because they did not appreciate the beauty that you offered them. It's over. You're getting reunited with your sweetheart here. And look, because the truth is revealed. The truth is that you never wanted a divorce. You were patiently waiting for your sweetheart, and you got brutalized by these narcissistic masculines who fouled your energy in such a bad way, and they messed your mind in such a bad way. Last night before, somebody said they did you dirty. They did you real dirty. They fouled you as greatly as they could perceive somebody being fouled. They did it. That was their goal. Now they're in regret. They want to run away. They're getting detached from you. You don't want to have anything to do with them. The one you're in a commitment to wants to have a conversation, or it could very well be that somebody wants to have a talk with you and then commit to something. But look, they neglected you, and they've missed their opportunity to have anything to do with your future here. They're feeling broken and shattered about it because they're guilty of exactly what the evidence shows. They tried to sabotage an irreplaceable, loving person who cannot be met. There's nobody who can love like this sweetheart who is the wife of this Lord, who these groups of people, these narcissistic whores, decided to sabotage the Lord's sweetheart and then prostitute her energy and foul her in such a filthy way. Oh, and now they want forgiveness for lying about it because they're getting everything they gave. All the shadowy stuff, all the crap that they layered on her, all of the energetic siphoning, they will be the new fodder. Somebody's going to be feeding on them, just like they fed on this sweetheart. They were daydreaming about being this sweetheart once again, and now they're unsatisfied because it didn't work out. We're having a new chapter, and there are still things to resolve and discuss. This is an unexpected outcome. They don't want to, they're narcissists. Yeah, we got some stuff here. Now, I got to pull some more cards for the outcome here, because we've got a narcissist who, without disregard for consequences, they're not very clever right now. Look, the wise guy is not wise. The values were all about money. They're having doubts, or people are having doubts. They're seeing this person as an enemy. They're a narcissistic enemy. And the Starseeds are telling them to go F themselves. Nobody needs any instruction from an arrogant F-boy who likes to hurt people for money, or F people for money. And the crazy thing is that they want to rule the world. And because, you know why? Because the sweetheart here is the unifier. Excuse me. Whoa. That's what they've been calling her. They've been calling her the unifier. She loves everybody. As long as they're not trying to, suck the freaking soul out of her temple, her flesh temple. They made life so hard for her, and now they're going to get it. They're getting it back. The research was made. She never wanted this divorce. She never approved of it. She never would have gone through it. They unalived her and forced her disconnect. Left her in pieces. And now everything's in pieces for them. They weren't able to feed her to the shadow demon. God pulled her out of that place. He resurrected her and said, you will not be feeding on her, shadow demon. Why? Because there's an understanding of what has happened here. And she's a truthful, honest person. The truth is known. She never, ever betrayed this person. She is, you know what she was called? Royal and loyal. And these ones brutalized her and said she divorced him and then went and effed around like a little hoe bag. And it was never that. She was a royal. She's like a princess and loyal. And I really think she's been waiting for her sweetheart this whole time. But these guys have been keeping her bound with their stupid magic, their forbidden magic, and their energy harvesting. And the fact that they tapped into her own gifts, which are magnificent and potent. And that's why this narcissist had so much authority and power and ability to create illusions and mind F people in the first place. They were using her gifts, her power, her light. And she escaped. She's escaped. So it could be that maybe she and the Lord, whoever this Lord is reminiscing about some past memories. They're reunited. This cult leader was jealous. They were tempted by the snake. This snake, you know, I heard of one of these masculines say months ago that he said that he could keep her forever if he did this. And so he did it. And guess what? She never belonged to whoever this cult leader is. He claimed her. He red-rummed her, claimed the energy and the mind, and then told the Lord that she divorced him because she's a little whore. And then they proceeded to be her in the energy and went around dressing up, 6, 9 copycats, all doing blood rituals, orgies, thieving, shallow, freaking narcissistic abuse of others. They lost. They're in a tower. Luck is not on their side. You kept your good humor even while you were buried under these ones' filth. Even while you had to get clever on how to keep it clean because they kept dumping more and more and more and more and more, and you had to keep up with it. It was 10 of swords, 10 of wands. Crap. They kept you in it, and they thought that they were for sure going to stick that 10 of swords with you forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But you loved yourself into health, and you kept your humor, which kind of canceled stuff. These are a bunch of mean. You're getting a new adventure, fire sign. It's not going to be having any hardship. You're going to get peace. This negative energy is going away. You never gave up hope. This triggered little jackwagon was making up conspiracy theories about you, and they may still try to. This is an unexpected outcome. They're very, very childish. Very, very childish. Very, very triggered. This person wants to rule the world. They're a narcissistic enemy of the people. They're not a real person. Whoever they're portraying themselves to be is a lie. That entity in that flesh suit is not supposed to be in that flesh suit. Whoever that is living the life of a dead man. You've got the Page of Cups here. You've got creative opportunities, new love, happiness, in a sacred space and location. Grateful and thankful you're getting the house back. The simp no longer wants to chase after you. They're grieving. It didn't work out the way that it was supposed to, the way that they told. They didn't keep any of the promises that they made. They're tangled up in this web in the dark side. Where they were trying to send this sweetheart, and God said, oh, no, no, no. No, you don't. They're crushed. They did this to many flames, playing games with love. And now their empire is falling apart, and they got to face it. They're going under. This diamond is making it tough for them because they're an empty vessel. They don't have a soul or something. And this is ending. It's over. They weren't telling the whole truth. They're keeping secrets. They're lying to people. They're reaching out, trying to connect to love. Love is avoiding them. The starseed is saying, go F yourself. They're full of anxiety. They want forgiveness. They need to tap back into your generosity. They're at a distance. There's a long road before they ever get what they want, and you're being aggressive with them. And maybe so they want to be aggressive with you. You're like, F off. You're not wise. You're not clever. You're not a leader. I don't want to talk to you. You are an enemy of the people, and you do not care about nobody. They're a weed. They're a reed seed that's been sleeping with people and then sticking them in this crazy drama, this rabbit hole. Trapping them there. They're guilty of trapping them there. And so you're leaving. They got caught up in a blind spot. They did not see that God himself was going to lift you up out of that last sacrifice and then lead you back into an ascension. They thought for sure that they were going to be able to stick you there. And God said, no, not this time. Not this time, narcissist, wise guy who's not clever at all. You're a childish man boy, and you're not supposed to be in that flesh suit anyway. What have you been doing with the man suit that was made in the image of God? What have you been doing to the sweetheart, the mothers, the children, the fathers, creating stupid wars where they go shed blood, and then you boast yourself? Ending wars, bullshit. I really don't like these phony balonies. Phony freaking baloney. Trying to take credit for other people's work. Everything that goes wrong is somebody else's fault. Everything that goes right is their fault. And the things that they're saying are going right are not going right. It's all a big lie. They're full of themselves. It's like what they're, and you know, it's so strange. Like I knew somebody when I was a teenager, and he said that he got 2 4-wheelers and that he spent all weekend riding them. And I got on the bus and the kids asked about it because, you know, I live with the person. And I'm like, what? No, that didn't happen. But the dude believed it. And it's like, it's so weird to me. It's like sometimes they make up stories and they say it over and over and over in their head so often that they really believe it. And you know, thoughts are electric, or and emotions are magnetic, or thoughts are magnetic and emotions are electric. I think it's thoughts are electric, emotions are magnetic. So you have a thought and then you wrap it up in the emotion. Oh yeah, this is great. Oh yeah, this is great. So it becomes a powerful thought. And before you know it, the narcissist, who is not wise, believes the lie. And they try to force everybody to believe it also. It doesn't look like that's going very well because we got a lot of starseeds here, okay? They're from different planetary systems. Everybody's got a flesh suit and they look the same, but everybody's coming from a different star system. That's why there's the astrological thing, you know, the Leo, whatever, water signs, fire signs, you know, earth signs. There's all this stuff. There's different star systems where we come to be what we're going to be. And this jerk came here. And the story goes, as far as I know, that they were allowed to be here to collaborate. And this Lord had to go do something. And they were supposed to protect this sweetheart. And they instead red-rummed her and then took over her mind, her essence, her body, and then dressed up their little prostitutes and then said that she was a prostitute. And the thing about it is that once they got command of her energy, I think something happened to this Lord. Like they were able to snare him or trap him because they were able to sever the connection or whatever with this fake divorce. And there was a lot of suffering for both of these people. But they're back together now, and it's seen very clearly that it was a lie. It was a freaking bad lie. There's a whole lot of people that were loyal to this narcissist, wise guy who is not wise. Supported. Well, that's the message. I hope that this clarifies something that you already intuitively knew, and I'll